We definitely are crazy times right now. The US just dropped bombs over Iran. Israel, of course, dropped bombs over Iran. Iran is shooting back to everyone.
It's a bunch of craziness. And how does that relate to the land space and what we foresee?
Everyone thought doomsday-preppers are completely batshit crazy. Well, perhaps with these kind of things, people don't think they're so crazy anymore. And as a matter of fact, more people are going to want to buy a piece of land. Like in an uncertain environment, people are like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Let's get rid of that thing. Let's rather have cash. Or let's not hold on to our cash. Let's buy a piece of land.
The AI race, stuff like that, the implementation of it, what do you think that's it playing a role in land investing in the future?
Again, I actually think ultimately it's going to help land, but it's not going to help all real estate.
Get ready for the next iteration of you on your path to becoming wealthy. On this show, you'll get the insider's view on wealth creation, the class none of us got taught in school, with my co-host, daughter, and beginning investor, Sophia Bosch. And now, let's get started.
Welcome to the Becoming Wealthy podcast. I'm your host, Sophia Bosch, and today we have a super exciting guest on short notice. It is the nation's top land investing expert and educator, Jack Bosch, also known as my dad.
Whoop, whoop. Hello.
Welcome.
Be here.
Yay. Okay, so today I want to talk about a little bit of the state in which our country is in right now.
Okay.
It's a bunch of craziness. And how does that relate to the land space and what we foresee?
Well, we definitely are crazy times right now. I mean, there's at the time of this podcast recording, the US just dropped bombs over Iran, and Israel, of course, dropped bombs over Iran. Iran is shooting back to everyone. It's like there's a lot of craziness going on. It's like, so how does it affect us over here? I'm not going to get political. I'm not going to do a value judgment of, is it good? Is it bad? Should we not?
But
I'm just simply going to look at that, like, anytime something like that happens, there's uncertainty around the world. People are like going to be afraid. They're glued to the television. They're like, oh, what's happening? They're watching all the different news channels. And what I think people should do is there's a saying that no crisis should be wasted. Or in other words, another thing is like, if there's a crisis, like people make their most money during crisis. And that sounds opportunistic, but I don't mean it opportunistic. I simply mean that while some people are paralyzed and just basically staring at the TV all day long, other people are seizing the moment and taking advantage of the opportunities that the world offers.
Right.
And so my call out to the world out there is like, take action right now. Right now, it's like a perfect time to do this because there's obviously a lot of things that are impacted by that. So in terms of real estate, obviously we're not being attacked in the US, right?
Yeah.
So if we're not being attacked, then first of all, nothing is happening to anyone.
Iran's missiles, as far as I know, their artillery cannot hit the U.S.
Yeah, they
we're
can reach.
safe as where we are.
That's why they're attacking like the military bases behind Dubai
the infrastructure
and all this kind of stuff around there. So and they're trying to destabilize the region and so on and so forth. And but nothing is happening in the U.S. really. Like we're sitting at home, we're going to the grocery stores, we're putting our gas. Obviously, gas prices might go up.
I've already seen them going up a little bit. I've already heard about that.
Which is obviously ridiculous because we have like weeks worth of gas that we don't have to. But that's just making money. The industry making money. That's like they're realizing, they're taking advantage of it. They're not missing out on the crisis.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, that's a great example. Instead of like putting the hand in the sand, it's like, oh my God, the sky is falling. They're like, no, let's raise the prices. Well,
it's not ideal for us, but
it's actually a great thing for land.
Really?
It sounds weird. I'm not saying the war is a great thing for land. I'm saying like...
Okay, what's the logic behind that
Yes, the logic is there's this group of people called the doomsday-preppers.
Correct. Oh, yeah.
Right?
I read a book on
the doomsday-preppers they've been afraid of something like that forever.
Correct.
And they're kind of afraid of World War III and things like that.
Yeah.
So what they're doing...
They want to be self-sustainable.
They want to be self-sustaining. They want to have a piece of land outside of town, not in the middle of nowhere, but like somewhere that they can access town, but far enough that if a bomb drops there, they're okay. Now, everyone thought doomsday preppers are completely batshit crazy for the last, I don't know how many decades. A
Yeah.
lot of people thought about
Yeah.
it. You're crazy. It's like, okay, you do what you do, right? There's
Yeah.
a lot of people thought they were crazy. Well, perhaps with these kind of things, people don't think they're so crazy anymore. And as a matter of fact, more people are going to want to buy a piece of land to have a place away from it. I mean, we're already seeing it. The wealthy people.
But they want to buy a piece of land. Does that relate to the same people that want to sell because they want to make, if there's uncertainty, they want some cash in their pocket?
Yes, that's
So
exactly
they go that
right.
way
So it's
too.
actually a double positive from a financial point of view, not from a political point of view. Not like nobody likes war is horrible, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not talking about that, but just simply from a business point of view, it's like we can purely separate the two. Everyone would prefer we not having wars around the world, but and rather do business in a peaceful environment. But with that said, exactly, like in an uncertain environment, people is like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I might, let's get rid of that thing. Let's rather have cash, right? And that's get cash. But at the same time, a lot of people with cash are like saying, oh, let's not hold on to our cash. Let's buy a piece of land. Because you know what happens when when gas prices go up, inflation goes back up, cash becomes worthless.
Right.
And they
And if inflation, okay. So if that all happens, what do you think will happen with interest rates?
Well, that's a difficult question. Now we have a new Fed chairman coming in the next few months.
Correct.
Who is I guess the industry is very happy about him because he's like not some crazy person, but he's like actually somewhere in middle of the road. But he is expected to obviously follow some of the lead of the president. Otherwise, he wouldn't have suggested him for it. And we know that the president currently wants to drop interest rates, and in order to get the economy going up. So I don't think just gas prices going up drives all of inflation.
Right.
And inflation consists of much more than that.
Yes.
And we have the AI factor, which is actually the deflationary, because like you can produce more things faster with less effort, like the robotics kind of stuff, which again is deflationary because you can produce more stuff with robots that cost $2,000 instead of an employee that costs you $50,000 or $100,000. And so there's deflationary pressures and there's inflationary pressures that happen at the same time. But so just because gas prices go up temporarily until that straight,
it's not necessarily going to be.
It's not going to just everything is going to get more expensive right away. But interest rates, I think, they're probably going to drop because, again, also in war times, people hold back. It might lead to a recession, and if a recession happens, as you have learned, I know, and you have econ, the government's going to drop interest rates to stimulate the economy.
Right.
Which again helps us because when interest rates go down, what becomes easier and cheaper? Mortgages.
Yeah.
Right. So. Therefore, houses become more attractive. Like for every, I think I read somewhere, for every 0.5% that the interest rates drop, 5 million more people in the United States can qualify for a house mortgage. So if the interest rate drop by 1%, we have 10, 15 million more people that can buy a house, and not everyone will, but many will. And
because
so
they
as a result,
have that opportunity, especially in the.
And guess what? If real estate becomes sexy again, what becomes sexy with it? Land.
Correct. One more question then for you. What type of land will be in demand? You said maybe outskirts of the city.
I think particularly in the market that we're dealing with right now, I can see that perhaps certain like developers of real estate, they might just be perhaps a little bit hesitant because like, let's see what happens and so on and so forth. Which means those larger infill lots where you can put 25 houses on it, they might wait it out a little bit. Or like those 20, 30 acres where you can put 200 houses on it, they might just hold on a little bit. Although those projects take longer anyway. So they're probably going to move forward with their development process and then just delay the building by half a year or the construction by half a year. But what really I think is jumping on fire every time like that happens, like for example, is the land outside of town as well as those, I call them mini ranches. Basically, your own ranch, your own 10, 20, 40 acres, like an hour away from town. Again, because of the doomsday-preppers, but there's also a movement back to the land. A lot of people looking for homestead land. A lot of people also want kind of like a simpler lifestyle. But those things have been moving on forever. But particularly in the current environment, I anticipate seeing exactly what we saw during COVID. What happened right now, I anticipate, as long as there's like crisis, and particularly also like the Islamist people saying like, oh, like what Iran is currently saying, like, we're gonna bring our war to everywhere. So there's like probably some fear that there's terrorist attacks around the world and
So
things
you're
like
not
that.
gonna want to be in
Things like
smack
that.
center of the city.
So you necessarily don't want to be smack center in the city, and potentially some people might not want to be on airplanes outside of the country. They might be like, let me not go to France, or let me not go to other places where there's
I'm going to France
They're
next
going to
week.
France next week, but that's okay. But let me not go to places where there's a lot of Islamist, like radicalized Islamist people. So London apparently has a lot of them right now. So I could see a lot of people not wanting to travel to those places.
Right.
And what happened during COVID? Everyone stayed in the country. So when they stayed in the country, what did they do? They still want to travel. Summer's coming up.
So they need a piece of land to.
So they started buying a piece of land. They're starting traveling. They started buying RVs. They're starting to enjoy the land that we have, the United States of America, more, and domestic travel started taking off like crazy. And when they go travel around, they're like, oh my God, wouldn't it be nice to have a 20-acre ranch over here? Yes. And so all of that drives demand for land. So again, I'm thinking we're at the perfect time right now to get into land, for anyone that wants to get into land, because the global dynamics are actually as sad and as distressing they are,
of course.
actually driving positive demand for land.
Thank you so much for talking a little bit about the crisis and how that's influencing the land space right now. In parallel, we touched on it a little bit, but AI, the AI race, stuff like that, the implementation of it, what do you think that's gonna, what do you foresee that it playing a role in land investing in the future?
Yeah, that is going to be, that's a deep question, because I actually spent a lot of time thinking about this over the last few weeks and months, and actually the last year. Again, I actually think ultimately it's going to help land, but it's not going to help all real estate. It's going to be like, if AI takes over, as many people say it will, over more, it will lead to a lot of job loss. A lot of people, and for the first time in history, it's going to be white collar job losses first before blue collar job loss. Because until AI is able to go do a good plumbing job and do a good whatever, those kind of everything like that needs like them fine motor skills kind of thing, or make a nice watch or anything like that, it's going to be humans that do that. But AI can create better spreadsheets than humans already. AI can do, somebody offered me free accounting services because he created an AI accounting system, right? So you can have your bookkeeping done by AI without even paying for it for free and things like that. So that is traditionally white collar jobs that are going to be lost. So obviously at the same time, there's huge opportunity for people who actually are willing to learn how to use AI. There's like, to create companies, to create services, there's highly sought after, highly paid jobs right now. So we're again in an industrial revolution right now. Just we're in an AI revolution right now, where the entire society has to change its skills if they want to survive. And some people are going to be left behind. And what I expect to happen is, like, the older people are going to eventually, often are the hardest ones to adjust to all the new technology. And they're going to be basically at some point of time throw up their arms and say like, well, I can't, I don't know what to do. Let me just go retire. Well, if they retire, many people don't have enough money saved. So how are they going to retire? Well, one of the things that we have been, one of our customer base that we have serviced forever, that I expect to grow, is retirees. Because guess what? They go, if they can't retire, if they get $1,600 or $2,000 in Social Security, but have to pay $1,500 in rent or in mortgage, it doesn't work. So they'll sell their house and they'll perhaps buy themselves an acre, a half an hour outside of town, put a mobile home on there, and now they have a dignified retirement. Again, so this is something that I think, though, particularly again, those lots outside of town in this side, not particularly the ones that are way out in the boonies, but the ones close to town, they should see a huge boost coming up from just very many people saying like, let me go, and then all the other things that we already talked about come together. Now people say like, well, and by the way, I want to do homestead forever. Let me go get 10 acres and have my own garden and things like that, and work part-time on something like that, or I can live my Social Security. Or let me actually have go on my own ranch. Let me go.
So they're actively going out and finding those.
And they're actively going out and finding that. So I think plus, if that all combines, now we added to some global conflicts or something like that, it's just going to both drive people more and more and more towards towards lower cost and higher safety alternatives. And now you add to that the fact that Starlink is now available everywhere, and you can have a full-blown internet access with high-speed broadband internet access in the middle of nowhere in Montana, where you up to 5 years ago couldn't even have a cell phone reception. And solars is doubling capacity and halving in price every 5 years.
And isn't Elon Musk about to put solar panels out?
He's gonna put solar panels, and he's gonna put data centers out.
Data centers
out in the
so all of that
outer
is going to
space.
be.
And so you can be anywhere in the world on the globe basically, and have full-blown access to everything. And then you put some high-performance solar.
So that's even more like influencing.
And now anyone that wants to live and have space can now do it, and can live a absolute, fully complete, working, functional life.
Yeah.
Working with their colleagues on Zoom calls in San Francisco or wherever it is, but sitting in the middle of nowhere in Montana.
Fair enough.
Have I made a good case for land?
I think so. I really
We
do.
love land. We love land, and the answer is like it is a recession-proof asset if I ever seen one. We've been doing this since 2002. The Gulf War happened during that time.
Sure.
And we sold land. There was a big financial meltdown, 2008, 2011. Guess what? Prices dropped, but demand for land didn't go away. People still wanted the land.
Yeah.
During COVID, land exploded. When interest rates rose and houses went into retraction, land kept being on fire. So, and now with these kind of things, and particularly AI and these global conflicts, land is like on a HOE lane.
Yes. And I know you're my dad, but I definitely trust you because you have gone throughout all these different big conflict events throughout time, and still been able to come ahead with land. So thank you so much. This was super encouraging. I definitely learned something new. But I loved having you here.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Before we wrap up, if anything in this episode intrigued you and you want to learn more about land and how to make money with land, please go visit landcoaching.com. The link will also be in the description. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and on to the next.